Welcome to episode
Four.
four of the life of a TV addict.
They're adding up.
I'm Sasha,
Notorious FPG, tired from all of my TV watching this week.
and you had the movies this week
And the
because
movies.
it's Oscar week.
Oscar weekend.
Yes, the Oscars are coming on tonight, but we're gonna get to that later. So you know how this goes. Let's start our week at TV. What do you want to start with?
I guess we'll get our reality out the way.
Okay.
So, Housewives of Atlanta. What'd you think this week?
You
You was waiting. I know you were sitting at your TV waiting, and I don't think you got the tea spill that you was looking for.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like, womp, womp. I thought Miss Portia was going to come with the receipts. Like, look, here's the text message. Here's the girl's info. You could contact her.
I think she thought she was, and then Candy just turned it around on her and was like, oh, wait, did you forget? And then spilled her tea on her
about
her coming on to her and
wait,
offering to, how did Portia say, eat your old rotten vagina?
Until you watch it. Oh my God, that was a lot. I put in my new, when Don Juan, because Candy, well, if you didn't watch the episode, but Candy comes back from the glamping trip and it's Todd
early.
Don Juan,
she doesn't ride back with
the girls, yeah, because she was upset. And it's all of them there, and then she's sitting there, and she tells them like what happened at the trip, but then she goes on to describe the night, the infamous night between her and Portia
and Todd.
Yes, he was there, and he saw it, and she like, yeah, we were kissing, and yeah, there was tongue, and yeah, it was this, and then she whispers in my ear, I want to eat your poom 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 to your doom doom doom,
over my face,
all over my face.
I wasn't ready for that. I didn't think that was where it was going to go. I could have seen them, her suggesting maybe a threesome or something like that, but I didn't think it was going to go to Portia was, as Candy put it, the aggressive lesbian.
I know. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So, and then when Candy said, this is going back one episode when she said about the sex dungeon, I had the flashback because I'm like, didn't we see your mama come over and babysit so you could take your husband to the sex dungeon? Because y'all hadn't been there in a minute. Wasn't it? Remember her mother came over to babysit, and then fast forward, we see Candy and Todd stretched out in the spare house with the lingerie on, and he giving her a rub down. I'm like, so you do have a sex dungeon. What are you talking about?
So that was considered her sex dungeon? That's what she called it?
I don't know. That's what Phaedra called it. So I don't know if that's what she was referring to or not, but I'm like, we did see a semblance of you having a sex room in your house, which is fine. You was there with your husband, but I'm like, don't say it like, oh, what you mean? That wouldn't happen. There's no such thing, when obviously maybe Phaedra done been there. I don't know, but...
Well, I didn't take it that she was saying like, oh, I'm appalled. It was more because she said, well, if I had one, I would admit to it because I think it's cool.
Right.
But I guess to her, that the spare room they're using in the guest house for their thing, she doesn't consider it a dungeon. Because when Portia said dungeon, what I pictured is that they go in the basement, yes, and they lock the door, and there's whips, and there's this, and there's
you can't hear the screams.
Exactly. So I guess maybe that's what she was saying. But when they said what happened in the club, she's like, we were in a club, it was kiss, it was this. And then she said, and so then they said, well, what did y'all do after that? She said, we went to the Waffle House. So Don Juan said, oh, I guess Portia couldn't get eat what she wanted to, so she had to settle for I was cracking. He was like, I can't have what I want, so I just eat these waffles. I guess what was so shocking about that was that, first of all, Portia, why would you come and try to dig somebody else's bones out when you know this is what you're doing? Then secondly, remember like the first season Portia was on and she was all, the halo above her head, prim and proper.
She couldn't go to the strip club because her husband. But I think that was the whole... I think that was her when she was married, trying to be
a good wife,
respectful of him. But other than that very end, this episode was kind of boring because we sat through waiting for all this Portia tea, and then it was like the last 10 minutes, and I was like, that's what we sat through for. Now the other thing in the episode was, Lord, poor Riley Burris and that struggle song.
Why do I had that right here. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
First of all, she looks like she doesn't want this. I don't know if Candy
she always seems like she's not beat though.
Okay, I don't have children. This is gonna sound very bad.
Oh my god.
Does she not seem like the cord was wrapped around her throat in the womb? She's a little touched. Seeming.
No.
Yes.
Oh, no,
that
no,
slow talk. Maybe it's the
can't.
country, but that slow talk, eyes don't never seem to focus.
Like, I never get that from her. It just seemed like she just like, I'm so not here for this bullshit. Like, Mom, why you have me here? And then remember Todd brought his daughter, and she was like, well, why is she here? Why
like
isn't
nothing.
She at
There's nothing there. Like, and then I'm like, you throwing shade at her not being in college. You better hope you can get through the first level of mathematics in college, because I'm sorry, you are not the brightest bulb on the tree either.
I don't get that from her. I think that I don't get that she's slow. I just seem, and that in the video, I mean in the song part in the studio, it seemed like she wasn't beat for it. She didn't want to do it.
That's
true, then Candy, like, girlfriend, who the F do you think you're fooling playing that auto-tuned track? Like, she just did that right then and there.
Exactly.
We're not stupid. Somebody had to mix it, add the auto-tune, do all of these other things. So maybe she wasn't in the booth, but that's not what she did at that moment.
Oh, definitely.
I was like, oh my God. But I can't blame Candy because Candy made all her
Candy
money with songs.
Candy make money regardless.
And let's not forget about Kim with the Tardy for the Party song.
Candy is good for a hit.
Exactly.
Yes.
So.
But I don't think this is going to be a career for Riley. Let's put it like this. I don't think it's going to be her career. It doesn't look like it's her career choice.
No, it doesn't seem like she's interested.
She just does not seem beat for it at all.
That's what I put. I say Riley never seemed like she beat.
Just her whole monotone. Like, she has the auto-tune it because she was singing it in, look, whatever key it was flat the whole way through.
Yeah, that was a mess. And then, I mean, like you said, the rest of the episode, then Sheree trying to get the son modeling, which he turned out to be really, really handsome.
Fine.
Yes, but you remember there was a time.
Awkward.
Yeah, when he was kind of...
But now he's like a Chris Webber. When Chris Webber first was introduced into the NBA, you was like,
wait, hold on. Did they ever get a paternity test on that?
Because that sure don't look like that could be...
No, that doesn't look like Bob. Yeah.
Bob must have really been holding that one in for a long time, and it was fermented because she gave him all the good genes.
I was like, yeah. So, yeah, Love and Hip... I mean, not Love and Hip Hop. Real Housewives of Atlanta.
It was a boring episode.
Give it to me. Yeah. And then this week it's supposed to turn up because they're going to go to Hawaii and things.
Is it going to be new tonight? Because, see, they confuse me when they do still coming on the season of. They gave us
maybe they're not.
So they might be skipping tonight because of the Oscars. I'm not sure. But
can we be like... Let's keep it all the way 100. Never mind the DVRs and everything, all the technology that everybody has. So if they choose, they can watch one and watch another one later. I don't think the audience that's watching Real Housewives of Atlanta are the same ones watching the Oscars.
I beg your pardon.
I mean, us. But we're in the minority.
I know what you're saying. I agree.
That audience is. That would be like them canceling an episode of Love and Hip Hop New York because the Oscars are on.
Right.
Like, fuckers, are y'all serious?
I understand what you're saying. Like, I think Walking Dead is still going to be coming on.
Shit, they like, fuck y'all, fuck the Oscars.
And exactly what you said. You DVR it, you watch the replay, whatever. You're still going to watch your episode of your show. Whether the Oscars is on, the Grammys, whatever it is. You're still going to watch. But, yeah, I guess maybe They deserve a light season after the glamping, a light episode, after the glamping. But this was a boring episode except for that ending to me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't what you were expecting because you thought Portia was going to give Candy all the Todd dirt.
I thought she was going to have receipts and show, but like, I thought she was going to pull a Apollo and come out with the printed.
With the drill?
Yes. I was like, girl, you knew. Andy and them called you, say, listen, we're going to set up a meeting. You bought your little water bottle, whatever, with the cleanse. Yeah. Like, so you knew what was going to happen, and you couldn't even fake a receipt. Like, girl, you're not doing enough.
And like they said, if with Andy and them calling you should have been like, well, let me just... because there's this one time in band camp, I tried to come on her. And then maybe they'd have squashed her. Maybe they'd have said, well, hey, you know she's going to come with that, so just be ready or whatever. But it didn't seem like Portia, like, she didn't deny it too crazy, except for, like, oh, don't nobody want to eat you. Okay. So, I don't know. We'll see how it progresses throughout the rest of the season, but it was a boring episode. Really? I could have lived without this. They could have probably combined this one and another episode, the next episode, and gave it to us.
I was just like, that was why. But before I know you didn't watch Married to Medicine, but they had the reunion this week, and Mariah, I was living for it because she was throwing shade to all of them.
Everybody.
Yes. And the Dr. Heavenly, you remember her. Mm-hmm. She's a dentist on the show. So she said, well, you're a dentist, but your teeth all messed up. You got an overbite and an underbite. I mean, she was just giving it to them. Then they had the girl Lisa Nicole where they picking on her and her marriage and her husband. And it was like, oh, I'm just tired of y'all with her and that mess. Let that go.
She might be a who was the one? Lisa Wu, like a because if that's all she has is this marriage thing, and the husband is probably not liking being under this scrutiny too much, she may not be back.
Well, I think that, you know what, honestly, and then you have to remember that, especially for her, it seemed like they had businesses going on. He's a doctor, emergency room doctor, so I'm sure they're making decent money.
This is her thing.
However, they did owe the IRS like $100,000, so I'm sure she may be back because they need to pay. Look, they need to pay. The IRS wants their money, but
and the other one owes money to the IRS too, right?
Yes, Toya, and her husband owes money, and their thing is like, well, nobody told us what to do when we got all of this money, and so
pay your taxes. You do that when you ain't got none either.
Hello, why didn't you go to an accountant?
Unless your name is 45, but you know. He ain't my president, but that's the only time you don't pay your taxes.
For 18 years, yeah. I mean, it was just, but I was just living. And then Mariah and Dr. Heavenly, they show up. I don't know what these stylists are doing down in Atlanta. These stylists are sleeping on the job because not only did they have on the same shoes, they had on the same earrings. So it's like it was a stylist starter pack or something that they got. And they were so similar. So she like took off the shoes, took off the earring. Like, I will not. I say, yes, God, I'm here for Miss Mariah.
What was my quad doing?
You know what, Quad? I have an issue with Quad. First of all, her husband's like 50, and which I just found out Quad is only like, she's like our age, like 35 or 36.
Really?
Yes, I thought she was older.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Her husband looks younger than her.
Exactly. I don't know if it's her being on the show with the older women that you think she's older,
or she's older, right?
It's her look, or it's the bad wigs that she's wearing. Right. I don't know what it is.
I would not have thought mid-30s.
Yeah, she's not that old, so. But her and Mariah have their thing, and it's the typical story that. I think that when she came, like Mariah said, you were messing with a drug dealer. And I know you were because that drug dealer was my cousin. So he went to jail. I took you under my wing so you could get yourself back together, like get on your feet.
Right.
And she introduced her to doctors and things like that. And that's how she met her husband. So it seemed like once Miss Quad got what she needed, she like, okay, later for you, Mariah.
Right.
And I was like,
well, Quad does not seem like the most loyal person.
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't be surprised at any of that.
Because now she's hanging out with Toya and
I mean the way it went down with her and what's the lady from the first season is married to the Indian doctor?
Mariah.
Okay.
That's Mariah.
Yeah, that first season with them just went down so nasty.
I know. That's what I say. So it just seemed like that. But yeah, that reunion definitely was a good watch. I was on Twitter Friday watching it with people. And then we had was this the first
Love and Hip Hop reunion? Yes, this was part 1.
We had part 1.
It felt like part 4 because it's so exasperating.
So on this reunion we saw Cardi B, Swift, Hennessy, and then they confronted Swift's girlfriend from London, which was hilarious.
She's pretty though.
Yeah, on the reunion she looked better. Yeah. On the show she was
homely. She looked like average. Like she was well made up. She was well made up at the reunion.
She looked way better. until Cardi hit her with the shoe in the face. Like, and then it was.
Well, Cardi was looking like somebody's matron though. Like, I hated her hair pulled back like that. And the button up all the way to
with the bun. I
need your boobs. I need you to be all the way, Cardi. Don't be trying to downplay it because you're not gonna be there no more. Maybe you're trying to look more respectable. No, I need you to be Cardi on 10, which is what I love.
Well, I like the look because I thought it was smart of them because they knew everybody was going to come with these stupid ass gowns and acting ratchet, and you want to fight, and you're going to act a fool.
True. Yeah, that's
and true. She's like, so since everybody else is going to be in gowns, I'm going to be in Gucci pants or whatever you single, and I'm going to stand out. And I know I want to beat this bitch ass, so I need to also
I can still be able to move.
Exactly. I thought it was a smart choice for her because I love the look. Yeah, and I thought it made her stand out.
Okay,
as opposed to coming in because I think Mariah Lynn, Bianca, who else had on a new shiny glittery dress?
Candy.
Yeah, like everybody had that same look going, and it was what's her name? So that was the first part of it. Then they had a part where Mariah Lynn, Cisco confront Richie
and Gwyneth.
What's his name? I forgot his name. Rich Dollars. And Peter Guns and the fucking DJ Self, which I wish he would go. And then they got into this whole argument about who's the leader of the Creep Squad, who's not the leader of the Creep Squad.
That exasperates me because who's fighting over being a creep? Really, y'all are fighting and arguing. 50. Is this making you money? Have you trademarked Creep Squad? Like, well, I don't think you can.
Who self-trademarked Creep Squad and started printing out clothes on it. But he's just so fucking corny. And let me tell you, he was on Instagram Live and he had a scratch off and he won money. And he even looked corny winning money. I'm like, you just fucking lame. If you look corny winning money, you just corny. Like, I was like, oh. And then, I had to like get on there and say, you even look corny winning. Like, get the fuck out of here. But anyway. I just can't stand him. I wish they would not bring him back. He is so whack and Anyway, so they got into a whole argument, and then Charlamagne gave them Donkey of the Day for arguing over who's the leader of the Creep Squad.
Yes.
And then, oh my God.
Because he's absolutely right. It's hard to believe that these are 50-year-old men, especially Peter. Peter's going to be 50 if he's not 50 already.
Yeah, I think Peter's 50. Rich has to be pushing 50.
Yeah, Rich look.
Cisco and Self, I believe, are younger.
I don't think they're 30s, though. Young.
Cisco, maybe, or close to 40.
First of all, Cisco looked like a vampire. He was so much white. He was so pale, and he looked like he had, like, blacked out his beard or something. So he looked even more pale, like Blackula, but light-skinned. It was crazy.
I think that he's white because you know that he's white anyway, and you should be able to sympathize with your light-skinned brother.
I take offense.
But in the winter, y'all seem to get pale. So it started getting ghostly.
Excuse you. I get a godly glow.
And maybe the tanning salon wasn't open.
He should have had some. If he don't know about a bronzer, he needs to learn. Your makeup person should have said, "Ooh, these lights is real bright. We're going to give you a little bit of rouge and a little bit of something." Because all he needed was a cape on, and he was Count Blackula, but light.
Well, I like Cisco, and he gave Peter Guns the $10,000, but a check. I wish he would have pulled out cash because it just would have been. Yeah, like he should have just pulled it out his pocket, like, yo, my brother, and they, it would have been more because how we know that was really a check in that envelope.
First of all, how we know it ain't have VH1 at the top or Mona Scott Young's name at the top?
Maybe that's what it was, that he had to wait till they cut the check for the end of the season. He's like, now I got your money. Now I have it. I don't know. I wish it would have been, because it would have been more dramatic. It would have been better. Yeah. I mean, he need a team. Hire me. I would have told you to bring out the money. But then the part so then we had those, and then the whole time while all of this was going on, all the drama and the fighting, Kimbella is sitting back on the couch with her sheer negatives, like the dress, like everybody had. And she's like, oh, babe, this is entertaining. This is like TV. Oh, we're watching a show. And then don't
did you want a show?
Yeah, wait, but don't she get up there and start acting a fool and fighting just like them?
Right.
I'm like,
because wasn't she fighting the girl from London, or who was she fighting?
No, she was fighting.
Because she got kicked. She got brought off the stage, and they said we're gonna take her back and let her calm down.
Because she was fighting Samantha, Erica, and
Yandy's nemesis.
She was fighting them.
Okay,
and then we got that. Let's bow our heads. That call from Mendeecees. You know I love Mendeecees. You know I love me some Mendeecees. Ever since he choked that boy on the first season he was on, I've been in love. But he was reading from a script. Hello, it seemed like Yandy sent him an email and with a picture chart, a timeline, a graph, and said, "Read it just like this."
Yes.
And he literally won. And then in October 9th, 2001, at 11 p.m., I was with Yandy. And then it was like, come on, girl. Come on. You are trying, girl.
Oh, my goodness.
Trying it. Like, girl, if you're not that bothered and you don't care, let the man say he cheated on you, he got her pregnant. Let him tell the story.
Right.
And like you say, if that's your thing, and then he got down on his knee, asked me to marry him, and I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Then don't be bothered.
Right.
But you're acting bothered and pressed when you're giving him a script and a timeline to read on it. And then she probably told him, make sure y'all let that go on air. And it's, oh my God. And then I'm acting like, it was just so horrible the way they were acting. And it was like, and then his mother, I mean, like.
Yeah, that's what I really hate to see the moms fighting, because I'm like, first of all, y'all are women of a certain age. Y'all still got to go to church on Sunday, and I'm like, you don't think you are looking like the right damn fool? Like, at least these people are young. You could say, hey, they are young, they don't know no better, they're doing it for a check. But you're doing it for a check too, but you should be established enough to have some integrity to say, I can't go this far.
This is not what I'm going to do.
I can't go this far.
Yeah, I would have liked for her and I can't think. I know one is Judy, Kim. Mm-hmm. They could have threw shots at each other, but do it in a grown woman way. To sit there and bitch no, and this and that. It was like like I just was cringing every time they did something. I was like,
That's the thing with Love and Hip Hop. Like, it's uncomfortable to watch at times because you're just like, you're silently and then sometimes outwardly, just like on your podcast, judging them, because I'm like, I can't see this really being what you would choose in life, to have your name out there. Is it that important to have your name out there? I just can't see it. So, and it gets awkward at times. The whole Creep Squad, like a father of 10, why would that be what of all things you want to be known for? Wait, is that the final count for Pete? Most recently. Oh, okay. It may not be done.
We need to update that shit like every 3 hours. We got to check. Might be another gunner popping off.
But as a father of 10, that should not be what you want to be known for. Being a founding member of a Creep Squad. That is not squad goals. I don't care who told you. It's a lie.
That was a mess. But then then we had, let me tell you, because last night I came home from the mall and my husband said, did you hear Remy Ma's song? Woo! Girl. So we gonna all hail the queen, Remy Ma. And her and Papoose came up on the stage and they talked about what they were going through, and they conducted themselves at what's name. But at times I saw Remy looking like, how much time do I have on parole? Can I beat this bitch ass? Or should I chill? And it was like, she kept calculating, like, I think I got 3 more months. Okay, I need to chill.
And Pat kept giving her that look like, stay in your seat.
Exactly.
Stay in your seat. That's
don't.
Not right. Stay in your seat. Don't move. So I'm just waiting for them to get their own show. And I know it's going to be, even if it's
listen, if they weren't going to give them that show after Love and Hip Hop, after that fucking song last night, she needs a show. She needs a show. She needs a show.
Yeah. I mean, you could just be following her around, just murking bitches all
exactly. Like, I need a show just about when, because, I mean, Nicki Minaj song
came out. Open mic, and it's just like, oh, damn, she gonna shut it down.
Like, Nicki Minaj song came out, I think, like a day ago, and, I mean, were you waiting or what? I mean, you could have did a show about that process.
So many questions
of how she got to Sheether. Like, I want to know that. But all hell,
we digress.
Yes, but she was on the stage and she talked about things, and I thought I liked that part of it. But other than that, so then we're gonna get the next part this week to see what else going on.
Is it 3 parts or just 2?
Oh fuck no, I ain't got 3 in me.
I think they did 3 parts last year.
God.
I can't remember.
In me.
But they may not because they don't have many more people to visit.
Well, they have
now.
to because you know why? I'm come to think of it. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta starts April 4th.
Okay.
So they're gonna drag this shit out for a month?
No, they maybe you'll get 2 more weeks and then it'll be like repeat. It'll be all right. It won't feel as long as you think it'll fly by. It'll fly by.
Okay, so then let's move on to regular scripted TV.
Yes.
Do you have anything else in reality?
No, I'm good on reality because I like my reality fake. Like,
well, remember, I don't know when it comes back. It usually comes out with Devious Maids on Lifetime. They have a show and it's called oh my god, and it's all about that. And they're shooting like a bachelor type show, and it's all about how it's a fake reality, how they create certain things. Okay. And in one episode, they had a black guy be the bachelor, and they actually set him up to be stopped by the police. Oh. And so they could catch that on camera, but it went left. I mean, I forgot.
I'm gonna have to look for that.
This one is a really good show. It comes on after Devious Maids, and I think Devious Maids start around the summertime. Okay. On Lifetime.
Well, we're gonna go to our.
You want to go to drama? Well, I think we should do comedies. How many comedies do you have? I only have one this week.
Just Blackish.
Yeah, let's wrap that up, and then we can get to the drama.
That's pretty much it. That's Well, no, we do have Crashing. Did you watch?
Oh yes, I do have.
So those are
wait, was that supposed to be a comedy?
I think so. I laughed. You didn't laugh?
The only part I laughed, I got my note.
Crashing is on HBO. It's a half hour. It's a stand-up comedian, and I guess they're going for a racier 2017 Seinfeld, where it's like it's not about something. Like every episode is going to be like not really a theme, because it didn't seem like there's a the show about nothing. Like it's just pretty much following him around, and
I did take it about
circumstances happen.
Well, I took it as it was trying to be about something that it's going to be about how he's trying to come up in a comedy scene in New York. And before but I mean, remember in Seinfeld, you had opening skits, and he would be doing the same a closing skit. Like, to me, that was it has a Seinfeld template, and the middle may just be different. But like, we opened up with him doing a set at a open mic night. Pretty much just anybody come in and sign the paper and just can get on stage for 2 minutes. So I must have took that. I took it differently because I took that as the opening scene. Mind you, don't waste your fucking time watching the show. We're gonna tell y'all about the show, and y'all not gonna waste your time because I want my. I think it was 46 minutes. Well, the second episode must have been good because the first one. Oh shit! Don't fucking waste your time. What? I'm so hurt. In the first, I took it as that. I didn't even want to watch this. You recommended this, and now you're jumping ship on me. Hell yeah, I'm out. I was not down for watching this, and now you jumping ship just that fast. It's one episode. You know why? Because I've been looking for something to fill that void of Curb Your Enthusiasm. You don't have to fill a void. It's coming back. Why are you gonna fill a void? When? It's coming. Just it's been off the air for like 3-4 years. When? I need it. 5 years. I need it. So I thought this was gonna fill that void. You thought this was gonna be it, and you didn't feel disappointed. And then I paused it to go do something, and I looked, and it was 16 more minutes. And you was like, I don't even want to finish it. Like, I don't even care no more. I took the scene was just the show. What does he do, and what did it like, or whatever. And then as he describes to his wife, he says, "It's like I'm a doctor in med school, and you're supporting me." She's like, no, because doctors have potential to make money. You are not a doctor. One of the other comedian, Artie, I think that's Artie Lang, that he meets, tells him like, no, it's not the same. You're trying to be a comedian. I put in my notes that I thought, so that was the premise of the show, is that he's trying to come up, he comes home, he catches his wife. Well, in the opening scene, his wife said, "Can I touch your butt?" your butthole or something. And he's like, while they're having sex, and he's like, no. And she was like, well, why? And they were going through that, so they stopped. And then he comes home the next day, and she's having sex with some other guy. So he was okay with that first time.
I'll tell you, I laughed at this show, and maybe my humor is just that demented, because when she first said, "Can I touch your butt?" Now remember, we get that they met as teenagers at Christian camp, and he was a youth pastor, and now he thinks he can go be a comedian, and his comedy was not really that racy from what we saw in the beginning. It was, I laughed though, but then when he tried to bring the whole, my wife cheated on me today. No, really. Like, it could have been funny, but it was just awkward. It was so awkward. And then, like you said, he works through it on the stage for him, decides to forgive the wife, goes home, and I don't know what was going on in that bedroom, but she was face down, and he was telling her the serpent was coming, and it was a hot mess.
And so she basically was having sex again with the same guy again, even after he...
And then you find out this had been going on a long time, because when the guy comes down the stairs realizing that the husband was home, he said, oh, well, I'm going to go into the sewing room. And the husband is giving him directions. He was like, oh, no, I know where it is.
Like,
well,
you've been
here. You've been doing this. This is not y'all just started.
Yeah, I don't know. I put in my notes, I had it snooze fest. Only part that I liked was the part where Artie Lang, the guy car is getting towed, and they put it up on a ramp. And he's like, Artie Lang gets in the car, and he's like, you can't do anything, it's hooked up. And he's like, rrr, rrr, and he pulls off the bumper of the car and gets it off the tow truck. And then the tow truck guy like punch him in the face or something. That was the highlight of the show.
You didn't like the subway when they get robbed and Artie Lang starts going in on the robber? He's like, how the hell we getting robbed by Gandalf the Grey? He was just going in, and all of a sudden he like pushes him and tells the guy to run. And the stupid ass Pete Holmes is the comedian. He proceeds to try to fight the guy with the gun, gets cut in the leg, runs, still gets robbed, his phone, his joke book, everything. And then you find Artie Lang eating a slice of pizza like, why do you run?
Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I was like, is this over yet? Really? You know what I would think would be a better... now, I can't remember this guy's name, but he does the minivan commercials, and he say, my favorite kid, and he says, like, he makes them carry all the soccer equipment. He has blonde hair. Fat white guy. Oh my God. I used to watch the show. It comes on TV Land, and he had a comedy show.
I don't know. Doesn't sound familiar.
And his thing is like, he has 5 kids.
His style of comedy would have fit better with the show? Or
no, I think that's just a better show to watch. Like, fuck Crashing. I mean, if I'm not being clear, fuck Crashing. Oh. But that show, if I could think of it, but the whole thing is that he's a comedian and a writer and everything, and he has 5 kids. He lives in New York City with his wife. Okay. And they live in like a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay. Or something like that. And it's like a family, well, from my understanding, he doesn't curse or do anything like that in his comedy show. So it's just not that. Okay. But I just think it's a way better. Like, I would devote my time to that versus Crashing. Fuck Crashing.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna split on this because I'm not totally in on Crashing, but I would watch it again.
I didn't even know it was a comedy. I mean, literally, and I watched the whole episode. I thought it was fucking drama.
Oh my goodness! Like when he goes to the comedy club just to try to cheer himself up, and the one comedian doesn't show up, so they turn to him and say, "Hey, you want to go on?" And when he goes on, he bombs severely. Mm-hmm. And the comedian who he replaced comes off, and he's like, "You stole my spot." And when Artie Lang saw him, he said, "Man, don't let that power wash Don Cheadle get to you." I was cracking up. I thought it had some really funny parts.
So it had some funny, but
I would still watch it. It's up to you. This is
that's going to be the split.
Charge it to the game if I lead you astray, but I would still give it a try. So let's go for Blackish.
Blackish, because that was that other comedy. So in this episode, Dre gets selected for jury duty. but he tries
unintentionally.
He shreds the notice. He does everything.
Damn,
but Junior gets the stuff and like, no, you gotta go because he watched a documentary and he's like, do you not know that there aren't black people on the jury and the public defender only has 7 minutes and this and this and that. So Andre decides to go to jury duty, but he's like, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to do anything. And he has his headphones in, and he notices that the public defender turns and calls the guy the wrong name, says that he wants to plead guilty, and the guy like, no, not me. And that the other one is right in his list of favorite Die Hard movies or something, the juror. So he decides to take it seriously.
Yeah.
I really thought that was a good episode. And then that's always that Blackish does it. They start to give you some background into why black people, weren't on juries, then how they got the right to be on juries, and then how they kept them out, even though it was illegal. I mean, that part was really good. But what was the funniest part? Junior friend comes over, and he's like cursing in the house. And his mother comes and she's like, yeah, I allowed him to curse. And so Bo's like, well, I don't allow my kids to curse. And they never do that. And so she shows her this video of Junior saying, get that shit up out of here or something while they're playing basketball. But when...
So she decides to then let them curse.
And let them
all of them. Not even like the little ones.
Well, the boy, the twin.
He couldn't get it right at first. But then he strung some gems together at the end that shocked him and Ruby, when Ruby was ready to take the hammer to his ass.
I was about to say, that was the funny part, that when the white kid is in the house and he curses, you see Ruby with the thing, like, oh God, Black Jesus. she about to put the paws on.
She about to say, oh, you don't want discipline? I'm disciplining your kid.
Yes, I was cracking up on that part. And then when the mother goes to give Bo high five and Bo smacks her hand, but then she goes to do it, and she was like, you better not. I was cracking up. I love Ruth. I love her. I love her. Love her.
Yes. But it was a really good episode, and I guess the jury thing was turning it on its head, where Dre he became so devoted to trying to help prove that this guy was innocent, and then, of course, just as they do, one of them pink people come in and steal all his thunder and puts one clue together from Facebook,
which they're supposed to do.
Thank you. And everybody proceeds to like, wow. You really thought this through. We're going to take you. And Dre like, what the hell? Yeah, I've been telling you this boy was innocent since the beginning. But everybody assumed, of course, because he just assumed he was innocent because he was the black
guy. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good... Well, Blackish has been bringing it all season. Yeah. So I'm always here for Blackish.
Definitely.
Okay, so now we could go to do you want to do the comic book stuff or do you want to go to dramas?
I'm trying to breathe through it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. That is
for the dramas.
Is Us. Yes.
This Is Us.
Let's just rip the Band-Aid off because this episode was so traumatic. I was in tears watching it. William and Randall went on their, trek to find William's family.
In Jersey, wasn't it?
Memphis. Memphis. They were coming from Tri-State area. I don't know that it's Jersey. I don't know if they're in upstate New York or just outside of the city, but they're close to the city where they live. So they drove from where they live to Memphis to find some of William's family. We see in flashbacks that his mom is deceased and how he got to be in the city where he was to meet Randall's mom and the circumstances and all of that stuff. It was just such a touching episode, and by the end, I already knew what was coming. And, by the end, he's in bed and he can't breathe, and they call paramedics, and Randall's like, you knew you weren't going to make it back home. And he was like, I said my goodbyes to them. I want them to see me looking up, not looking down. Lord, gee, I just couldn't take it. It was
I knew you were going to be that because you kept saying, I know it's going to happen. But, like I put in here that my favorite, so William dies. The dad dies while they're on the trip before they get back. But Randall meets his family, the cousins and everything. He's really excited. It just was Good Times. And then we saw our guy from Atlanta.
Yes.
Brian Henry is his name, I believe.
I think so, yes.
He was there, and he's William's cousin.
Yes.
That he was staying with while the mom
went to... when they were younger. And
the mom sent him away or whatever.
Yeah, he stayed in Memphis to pursue a music career, poet. He was writing songs and playing in a band with the cousin. They had one song they wrote that became really popular, and they were going to be going on tour, it seemed, doing albums, and the mom got sick. He left to go take care of her.
Mom, and never
came back because life happened. And what was the part that really tore me up when he said, when William was in the hospital and he said to Randall, you know, I've had my ups and downs, I've made poor choices, but the person that was there in the beginning and the person that was there in the end, that seems to make it all right. And
I love the scene. So basically they don't say, I mean, when he dies, so he's in the bed, he's breathing hard or whatever, and you see, because he had visions of dreams of his mother or whatever, they were showing flashbacks of his mother. So then you just see the back of somebody and you see his mother's face and she's opening her arms and he's walking to her. And I just thought that scene was everything. And then the show just basically ends like that. So you know he's dead. And I just thought that scene was perfect. I loved the scene. I thought it was everything.
Yeah.
Because it was like that's what he was saying was important to him.
Yeah, definitely. And it still has some parts that made me laugh because Randall obviously has lived not a sheltered life, but because of his upbringing, he don't know like we know. So he's going to ride to Memphis with some paper maps. He doesn't want to use the GPS or Waze.
Because he wants this experience.
I said, boy, you driving a Mercedes. You better know how to get out of Memphis if you need to. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what corner to turn. If you're going to be in the gang area or the whatever, you better know how to get out.
I thought you were going to say when he told his friend, he told his black relatives because they keep coming around and he's meeting all of them. And they say, about the Gumby haircut.
And he's like, I ain't know about that. I was raised by white people.
White people?
I was raised by white people.
And he was talking about the haircuts he used to have, the things that were going on in his life because he was raised by white people. Yeah. But I really thought that's what you were going to talk about.
No, that too. It was him discovering, and I mean, of course, when he meets William's cousin that he left to go, that he was in a band with, and he's like, trying to decipher. So wait, you my third cousin? Okay, I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'll be back. But okay, I'll be right over here. But so how are we related again? Like he was just so excited to have family.
Yeah, and black. Yeah. Because remember when he was young, that was the whole thing. He kept a list of every black man he met, thinking, "Is this my father?" And he never, he only had the 2 black friends or whatever. So that was a big thing for him. But then we see on a scene from the next episode that the father looked like he was a cheetah. No, not cheetah, pumpkin eater.
His white father.
Yes, the white father. White father.
Yeah, if they do that, I would be really surprised. But they've put him on such a pedestal that I could see him having done something that the kids don't know, but like the mom does, that made him not so perfect. Because he seems so perfect. So I could see them saying, there was this other side that, maybe only the mom knew that you guys didn't know. He was perfect to you guys.
Because they don't say what happened. Well, we know he dies, but did he die while they were married? Did he die?
Right.
Did they get a divorce and then he died? Right. They really don't go into it. So this is going to bring us into like maybe what happened during their marriage.
To stuff.
Exactly. So I can't wait for next week. I really want to see this one. But yeah, of course, like always, This Is Us brought it. So we're here for This Is Us.
I love that show. And it just, every week is doing something different that makes you, come back, do whatever. Like, even if you weren't raised in a white family as the only black person, you can identify with all these people in every area of your life. There's something, the work part, the personal part, the friendship part. There's something that you can relate to. And that's what I love about it.
I'm all here for This Is Us. So my other drama for the week, I guess since I already started, I might as well finish, is Big Little Lies. I recommended the show last week, and I'm sticking by this because I saw the first 2 episodes. Was this show not everything and more?
It was really good. I did enjoy it, and I like this. I like telling the story backwards. I've always been a fan of telling the story backwards because I like to try to see if I can figure shit out. So I like that we don't know the episode number 1. We know somebody's dead. That's the title of it. Somebody's dead. And we don't know who. And we still don't know who by the end of the first episode. We don't know by the end of the second episode. We just know that there's all these little lies that come together, and it's going to be something that's going to blow this town up. And
yes.
I mean, I have my suspicions about who's dead. I'm going to reserve them till I see a couple more episodes because I figure they won't tell us till the very end.
Well, because of course the book, I think her name is Lillian Moriarty.
Okay.
Moriarty, something.
Moriarty, like something probably.
So the book, I read the book a while ago, and it's just like that in the book. Also, you don't know.
Okay.
I mean, how they're doing it on the show is how it's done in the book. Okay. Like it starts with the investigation, and then somebody says, "Are we actually calling it murder?"
Right.
And then that's that, and then they don't go back into like that other than they never say who's dead or anything like that, which I thought was great. The casting on this show.
Now, how close is it to the book? Like, are they playing it
right on? Okay, they are so perfect. Reese Witherspoon. I mean, when
she's like Elle from Legally Blonde. Yes, she had.
When I read the book, I literally would have pictured her.
Right,
and she is killing it. Okay, killing it because this lady was perfect. She was all together. She knew everybody. Everybody liked her, this and that. But if they didn't like her, they feared her. So then they acted like they liked her. Yeah. I mean, perfect. Zoe Kravitz. I didn't know why she was there, and I was like, oh, they just giving her a job. But the role that she's in, I'm like, yes, because the lady was like this bohemian lady who believed in all of these weird things and everything else.
Now, the daughter that she has, that's her daughter with Reese Witherspoon's ex-husband? Or did she already have this daughter?
No. So, the Reese Witherspoon was ex-husband is now married to Zoe Kravitz.
Right.
And they have a mixed daughter.
That's their child. Okay.
And then she has an older daughter with the husband, and then she has a younger daughter with her new husband.
Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you, of the adults I love, but that little girl Chloe is, I think, my favorite character because she's so weird and she's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she's so wise beyond her years. It seems. She's up there listening to music, and you're sitting up there. You're expecting, Kids Bop or some, Disney radio. And no, this bitch is playing like Fogerty. And you're like, how do you know this music? And I think she might be my favorite character so far. Because the adults, I could take them or leave them. Like, it's something about all of them that you hate, that you can hate on the inside.
I couldn't leave, what's the name? The one that, and she's doing a good job. I noticed she was in the Divergent series, but did you ever watch
Shailene
the show?
Woodley.
Yes, The Secret Life of an American Teenager,
right.
where she came from.
Right.
Oh my God. And she's doing, I don't think she's doing a great job or not a great job because she hasn't been that prominent in the episodes yet. But yes, I could picture her. When you read the book, I could have pictured her doing it.
Yeah.
And so one of the big stories in the show is that the little girl accuses Shailene
Woodley's son,
Ziggy, of choking her.
Yes.
Was it choking her?
So Laura Dern's character, who is apparently the only working mother in this whole town.
Well, it's a battle against the working moms versus the stay-at-home moms.
So she's like it seems like a high-powered attorney. Is that what she's playing?
She's on the board of directors.
Right, she's on every board.
Yeah, every board.
So her daughter, Annabelle, is in the same class as Shailene Woodley's son, Ziggy, who's new to town. Shailene Woodley's character.
Well, they're all in the same class. All the kids are.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying they are. He seems like to be the new kid. He's the new kid. He just got there. And all the kids are in the same class. Chloe and Ziggy and Annabelle and the Bonnie's daughter. I can't think of her name now, but Bonnie and Nathan's daughter, who is the biracial child of. Mm-hmm. Now the teacher creeps me out. She is weird as hell. And the fact of Ziggy is the new boy, nobody really knows him, and he supposedly choked Annabelle. Yeah. Leaves a mark. Someone hurt her. Mm-hmm. Someone hurt Annabelle. I had a problem with this fucking teacher. And I have no kids. Again, I'll tell you every time because the way she handled it. The way she handled that, lining them up, that bitch needed to be reprimanded because class is over. Annabelle waits to the end of the school day when everybody's being picked up to tell you that she's been hurt, and instead of you talking to her with her mother, who's there, you go to make a big ass announcement to the whole class in front of all the parents who hurt Annabelle. We need someone to say who hurt Annabelle. Excuse me.
Well, I guess the thing was that because it was the first day of school that they didn't know each other's names yet. So they basically like, okay, one of y'all either confess to it or she's going to have to pick out.
If you have Annabelle and thing and she say the new boy, everybody know who the fuck the new boy is. No, Ziggy the only new boy.
Well, it's the first day of, I think
they've going to school. They know the town. They know, they've been to parties with each other. So he would not be, if you say new kid in our class, everybody would not say, well, we got 8. No. We've been interacting and stuff this whole time in these 5 years. So Ziggy knew Chloe.
I was about to say, and I thought it was like kindergarten or something. So this is their first time in school, and I don't know. I didn't take it that way because from what I understood, because you're saying that they're 5, so they had to be like in kindergarten, I think, like something like that. And it's the first day of school, so you have new kids, you have this and that, and then they line the kids up to pick them out. Because I'm sure that I don't know. That's how I took it.
I didn't get the impression that this was the first time these kids met. The reason why is because it's already said Miss Chloe is the ringleader, so she is a very powerful force, which means if she's the Pied Piper to these little rats, she's interacted and had some power over them, and they've had.
Don't you think it was because who her mother was? So now they have a circle of friends, right?
Right.
They're all involved in that circle,
right?
But there's other kids who are not in their circle,
right?
And that because of who her mom is and her mom's personality and interacting, and then remember she has an older daughter that also went to school with some of the people. That I took it as opposed to being that these kids. So
maybe.
And maybe because I read I don't know if it was because I read the book.
I don't know. It doesn't have to be either one. That's just how I perceived it.
But we're in agreement that the way she handled that was just like really.
How long have you been teaching, bitch?
I guess it added to the dramatics of it because it was like the drama of it, because then it's like, okay, now it's not in secret. Everybody, I'm the new person in town. My kid's the new kid, and now my kid has been accused.
He's been labeled like
choking, which ties into. I don't want no hashtag spoilers, but it's going to tie into the storyline later, into everything that's going on.
Well, I've already put together that I think she's an abused woman running from a man. I've already put that together.
Hashtag spoiler.
Hashtag not really a spoiler because you can. I didn't read the book. I've only watched the 2 episodes. But just from the way she's acting, you can tell she don't want nobody to know where she is. She's on the run. She's on the low, running from the po-po. Somebody.
That's not quite. Wait till you read the book.
I'm just saying, you can tell that she doesn't want to be found. I'll say that.
You're going to be shocked by that.
She seems that way, at least.
The abuse part, and I mean, because like you say, if you were able to put it together, and if y'all weren't, well, now you know that she was. That is part of it. And
so they're going to say that that's how Ziggy learned the behavior.
And that's why why that whole thing was so jarring for her. Because it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you pick this up through, are you that person now? And I've never known. So that part was really good. Then you also see them all interact with their husbands.
Yes.
Reese Witherspoon husband is kind of a laid back type of guy. He works from home.
Hipster kind of.
I took him as well because they transferred this from, and the book is in Australia, so they took it from there and put it into which we now know is Silicon Valley,
right?
Yeah, and California. So he's like maybe one of these startup guys, IT tech, and he works from home. He helps out with the kids while she's on all her boards and committees and whatever.
Right.
She doesn't work though. She doesn't work, but she's too busy to cook. So we see that. Then we also see the interaction that her oldest daughter is having with Zoe Kravitz, who then takes her and puts her on birth control pills.
That turn up was totally justified, and Zoe Kravitz was like, she didn't get dragged across that parking lot.
Yeah, it was like,
because I mean, yes, they have a bond. She's closer in age to her.
Yes,
but what you not gonna do, what you ain't gonna do, is have my daughter confide in you, and you not say, "Hey, we need to sit down with your mom, and if you want me to be there to give you some support." But what we ain't going to do is go behind your mother back and put you on no birth control. No.
Well, I guess, you know what, and I
was pissed off at her ex-husband, too, for trying to justify that bullshit. I guess he had to, because that's his current wife. But then he goes to the new husband and tries to get him to say, hey, you need to talk to your wife about not being so hard on my new wife, about what she did with the birth control. And I'm glad Mr. Silicon Valley was like, hold up, motherfucker. I
can't check her.
I may not be hardcore, but I will hipster whip your ass.
Well, I guess
which needs a restraining order or whatever. But
on this one, the thing is that I'm not anybody's stepmother, so I don't know how that relationship goes. But I could see the daughter not wanting to talk to Reese's character about birth control because look how uptight she is about everything. And then if this girl comes to you and say, you know, I'm sexually active, I would like to get on birth control. Do you say, hey, okay, you know, good luck with that?
You don't brush it off, which I think she did right in not brushing it off. But you don't make a medical decision about my child without notifying me. Because you didn't go to the pediatrician that I gave you permission to talk to when she with you and you could go to the doctor.
I think the pediatrician went to prescribe.
You went to Planned Parenthood.
A pediatrician can't give you birth control.
But I'm saying a pediatrician's a doctor. They can write you a prescription for anything. It will look questionable, yes, but they can write you a prescription for anything. And once you go to a pediatrician and you express the desire for sex,
active,
but she said she's not active yet.
GYN.
According to her, she's not active. She's still a virgin. Wants it for just in case shit happened. Okay, fine.
But I took it more so that she was giving it to her too, and to go to Planned Parenthood so that or maybe look, you can get it on your own from now on, and they're not going to ask many questions. They're not going to tell your mom. But I'm faced with either you being out here having sex and possibly getting pregnant, or you're being so scared to tell your mother that. So I guess she was trying to help her.
She chose wrong. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know.
No, she chose wrong.
Yeah, I guess we have to disagree on that because I don't know how I would have handled it. I know
how I would have handled it. You talk to the damn mama.
But apparently the girl didn't want mama to know.
Too damn bad. Because God forbid, if you did go out here and get pregnant, you gonna go live with Bonnie and Nathan? Fuck no. You gonna be standing right there in front of your mama trying to have a baby in the toilet and explain it. Come on now.
We disagree. I don't think
Reese Witherspoon would have been the one having to bear the burden if you chose to not dig with that bone. Suppose she had a reaction to the birth control and I take her to the doctor. Is she on medication? Nah, this bitch ain't even had an asprin. Oh, but wait. See, that's the bullshit. You can't play with people's kids.
I think that's too. I just don't agree. I just think that was just too. I don't agree. We're going to just go over that.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
That one I don't agree with. But
I guess is not being a parent.
And being a step parent
I would not want to be responsible for making a decision for someone else's child.
Well, so I can say as a parent, if my daughter went to her aunts, which she goes to frequently and talks about things that she doesn't talk about with me, and she expressed to them the need to be on birth control or the desire to do so, and they did it, whatever, I would like, damn, I wish she would have came to me or felt like she could have come to me.
So you wouldn't have a problem with them not saying anything to you either?
No, because if she tells them, I don't want to tell my mother, how could you betray her trust? to tell me, and it's not killing her. Like, oh no.
Bitch, you better betray my trust, damn.
Now, if she had a baby and hid it in her closet, and one of her aunts knew, and they didn't tell me, I'd be like, listen, bitch, listen, like, we gonna draw the line here. But that, nah.
But that would be the thing. How would I know where you draw your line? If you okay with me taking up a birth control and condoms, and hey, let's go to the sex museum, and I'm gonna show you how to take it up the ass.
Oh my god!
Wow. Okay.
How did we get here?
I'm sorry. Was it too real? Did it get too real?
Okay, let's go back to Big Little Lies.
If your line keeps moving, how do I know? As the parent, there shouldn't. As the outsider, because that is the relationship, mom and daughter. Mm-hmm. That is the ultimate relationship. And as the outside stepmother, I should not be trying to put a wedge in there. And to me, yes, I will support you. I will be there. I will be that sounding board for you. But no, all decisions about medical, personal, sexual, we're going to have to bring mom in on this. And then I'll sit there with you. I'll take the brunt of her anger. I'll be why are you even here?
I don't know.
I'll be that person.
I didn't see it to be that deep. Maybe I missed something. I didn't think
because then I'm like, if she took her to Planned Parenthood, I've been to Planned Parenthood. Mm-hmm. You have to show ID to show you're of age. So, did you go there and lie and say you was this girl's mother? Because she's 16. So, how she get this? This was some nefarious shit that Zoe Kravitz character did. And I would...
Because she could have said, I'm a stepmother.
And you ain't signed their HIPAA law to give you access to her medical records.
No, you don't have to have the medical records, but I think
that may not be a law in California. So.
But I think that if she showed up with a step parent and said, like, I would like to get on birth control, I doubt they would have turned her away and said, go find your mom. I doubt they would have. I mean, because isn't it even a law that they could even go have, as a minor, that you could have an abortion without your parents?
I don't know the law and where it's set, so we taking it real right
these
now.
Alternative
because these are speculations based on
we're making the law up. But anyway, let's get off of that. Yeah. I didn't take it as so. Then basically, and then once you start reading a book, you'll also see. I didn't take it as Zoe Kravitz's character trying to
overstep.
Create a wedge between her real mother and her, what's her name? I just felt that she was that bridge between her mother and the daughter because she, like she said, and it's clear. In the book, it's really clear, but on the show, it's clear also that she's closer in age to the daughter. I mean, if she's like,
but she wasn't a bridge. Let's just be clear, because a bridge would be you helping us meet in the middle. You trying to be bridging means there's a passage and we crossing over. No, you just end rounded. You was the alternative route. Like you was the detour. Like I got to the bridge and the bridge was closed and they said, but if you go back and zoop around to the other side, we'll get you where you need to be.
Because I think that because Reese's character is so rigid and strict that there's a disconnect between her and her daughter.
Definitely.
And so Zoe Kravitz is in the middle, and instead of her daughter just being here and Reese's character is here, her daughter is able to meet her there. Now Reese is not yet meeting Zoe anywhere because she's
I wasn't able to make the decision to meet her. I wasn't given all the information to say,
meet Zoe's character.
I'll meet you halfway with this. You want the birth?
Well, because
I wasn't given the information.
But no, it's not even about that because
we can spend all day on this. I was about to say,
but Zoe's character is married to the ex-husband, right?
Right.
They have this kid who's 5 or 6 going to kindergarten or whatever. Mm. If Reese's character and Zoe's character were going to meet and have any relationship, that shit could have happened by now. It's clear that it has been on one party's side to not have a relationship with the other.
Right.
But now the daughter has been having this relationship with Zoe Kravitz for the 5 or 6 years because, of course, her father and they have to have a relationship. So, yeah, I think they could have, and I think that that she could maybe be the glue.
But to me, even in that alternative, the daughter in the first episode tells Reese Witherspoon in their, late night heart to heart, yeah, dad has that, but you're still mom. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to come to you. No, bitch, obviously not. You lie.
Oh God, let's not start back up about this damn birth control because
let's just go.
Shit, it was a really good. You even get Plan B at the fucking Rite Aid.
It was
and I think they took.
It was a really good episode, and it brought up a whole lot of stuff that I was like, good. It has so many, story arcs that I'm like, okay, these are the little lies. These are big little lies. This is a little lie. This is a little lie. How is this gonna mushroom into inevitably leading to somebody's death?
Somebody getting murdered.
But yeah, I'm interested. I'm in.
The second episode, we saw Nicole Kidman's character. Now she's like a stay-at-home wife, and they're really rich.
Oh yeah.
And they have twin boys.
Her husband is played by the fine ass Alexander Skarsgård, who was, you remember?
No.
Oh, okay. Vampire, True Blood.
Oh, I never watched True Blood.
Oh, okay.
Never.
He was Eric. Eric was fine.
I didn't watch it. Let me tell you, True Blood, disclaimer. I didn't watch it. It probably was a really good show. But at that time, we were having too many vampire shit going on.
It's zombies now.
And and then that moved on. It was like, I got it. But apparently it was a really good show.
This is the only part of my problem with this casting. And this is just me being way too literal, and I don't know if they're going to write it into the story. Nicole Kidman is fucking 50.
Mm-hmm.
She looks it. She looks like she's getting some puffy face work done to plump it out. Alexander Skarsgård is 40.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do not look like they are on the same... I don't know. It just... She look... And maybe they're going to say she's older to Cougar, and that's why he's maybe a little insecure. I don't know. But... They just don't look like they would be the couple to me.
I didn't get that. So for me, I didn't get that. I didn't think that. I thought that the way she played the character as being like a little meek, a little quiet, a little reserved. I thought she did a good job. I thought it was excellent. Like she's not.
But obviously, we know that's all an act now.
Yeah, she's not.
That's for the outside.
Gorgeous or anything, but she's not ugly. And I don't know. I didn't see it as her being... I didn't take it that way. Yeah. But on the second episode, so they have twin boys. And then on the second episode, the father actually gets angry. In the first episode, I think we saw a little bit of the temper. Mm-hmm. But on the second episode, he gets angry that she didn't tell him about the first day of school. Mm-hmm. And he smacks her up and then rapes her in their closet.
Rape?
Yeah,
we're going to say rape?
That was rape. I doubt she consented to that.
You didn't see her reach down and open the pants and then proceed to turn around and present her naked ass? That wasn't rape. And then the reason
maybe I missed that part. Maybe I missed that. I just saw a few smacks, a few pushes, and then she was turned around.
That was consensual. It was rough. It was consensual, and she enjoyed it, and she came.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that you thought that she enjoyed being smacked up?
No, but she said sitting at the fire with Reese Witherspoon, we fight so we can have good sex after. So the smack was probably him, yes, strong arming. Mm-hmm. The smack back was to letting him know, oh, we about to go down because you going on a trip and I'm going to empty your nuts before you go. And then she proceeded to go down, open his pants. He didn't like hold her down. Come on. You gotta rewatch that.
I gotta watch that scene again.
Rewatch that.
Yeah, you got two.
I was up there like, oh,
I saw the smacking because
hold on,
they fight. Yeah, that they fight. Oh, girl, me and you definitely ain't on the same page. If that's your idea of thrills, because girl, I did not take it.
It's not my idea. The initial smack was
out of the initial smack, in my opinion, was. And I watched it. It was literally out of anger. He was upset that she didn't tell him about
that shit had an echo.
And I think angry. She smacks him back because, like she said, we fight, and I guess that's her way. I think maybe to what's her name, that was her way or whatever, because she starts to have marks and things like that. But I don't know. I took it a whole different way. Once again, I'm gonna watch it again.
You've read the book, so maybe there's something coming that I'm not aware of, but. And, you know, anybody that's listening, please watch the episode.
I'm going to watch that part again.
My little BDSM fetish was on fleek that day or whatever, but...
I'm about to say, I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again because I didn't get that from that at all.
I didn't get that.
And even the way that the way that she left, like after it happened, and she pulls up her clothes and she's like,
she didn't walk away.
She walks away. Yes, she does.
No, what I'm saying is she didn't walk away head bent down, hurt, and he didn't walk away like, you know, and she was left up there like covering up, like, oh God, I can't believe this just happened. She walked away like, yeah, motherfucker, don't let it happen again.
No, I didn't take that.
Rewatch it.
I'm going to rewatch it because I saw her pull over the shawl and she like walks over to the window and he's in the closet. I didn't take that. She didn't. So let's just agree. We got to move on because we just getting too. I mean, this episode is just going way left. But
the views expressed
by you or yours or yours. I'll watch it again. You know, I'm always I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong because I mean this was the first time we saw.
But it's all about perception too. Because somebody else who may be in whatever situation can see something different every time.
I guess it would just be the way that you. I mean, if you're saying you saw it that way, I saw it a different. But I'll be willing to rewatch. Yeah. However, moving off of that, we saw that he's you don't think that he's abusive?
No, I do think he's abusive. No, your question was you said rape. Is he an abuser? Yes, most definitely. He has anger tendencies. He showed them, and I
based on what you're saying, he wouldn't.
I think it gets her off.
So then he wouldn't be an abuser if that's their thing that they do this. Then he wouldn't be an abuser. And I took it as it's clear that he's an aggressive abuser.
I took it as he's violent towards her. Mm-hmm. Yes. I also took it as she reacts to it because it gets them both off.
Okay.
I didn't get that he is I'm going to punch you in your face and knock out two of your teeth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going that far with him yet. It may. Mm-hmm. He may not know his own like point of no return, and it may. I get it. I took it as a kind of 50 Shades of Grey. Like, this is where, you know, we both consent to this being a little weird. Violent.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't. So then,
and then and especially at the end when he tries to, like, if I'm mad at you, if you just raped me, you can't have Skype sex with me.
Well, he sends her the flowers. He sends her the flowers and the thing because I guess that was the show like that. To me, I took it as more to show the habit of that this is how it works. That, you know, this happens and then I get the flowers, I get the gift. And I believe in the book, it was more so that she would just start spending excessive amounts of money and that would be her reward for what's her name. Well, not reward, but that would be her, like, kind of making him pay for it.
Right.
So she gets the flowers, she gets the cards, and I believe he says he's sorry or something on the card, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see how you got that. But anyway, so even after this, and they were both into it or whatever, he sends her a card saying he's sorry. And then she gets the, so then they do the Skype thing or whatever. But I took it as more so that because of him apologizing and everything that now they're going back to and she says
I take it as before this is a cycle with them.
She's like, we need to see somebody when you come back,
right?
And then that was whatever.
I see it as a cycle. I see it as maybe she's recognized this in him and has found her own way of coping, but she maybe and I would love to see how this, I hope we see the therapy session and how it goes down to see where maybe she will draw a line. But I don't think that she is an unwilling participant fully. She may not like how he expresses that he wants it a little rough, how he initiates it, but I don't think this is new to her. I don't think that was the first time it's going down, and I don't think she doesn't get off on it. To me, when she was telling Reese Witherspoon at the fire, I think he likes it like that, and I do too.
Okay, I mean,
we'll see.
You're entitled to your opinion on it. We just disagree about that.
We got that scene, and I guess we got like 10 more episodes. I was about to say
because that's good and makes for a good discussion because you have we watch the same shows and we both literally got two different.
And I'm sure other people watched it.
I'm about to say because Crashing, we definitely had two different opinions. Right. Big Little Lies. But I'm here for Big Little Lies. I really think it's a good show. I like how it's going so far. And that was the first 2 episodes that they had. We haven't seen much of what's the name character, but I believe that she's going to come out more.
Which one?
Shailene or whatever.
Shailene Woodley.
That she's going to come out more. So we haven't seen much of that yet, but we hopefully will see that. So then the Big Little Lies, that just took up a lot of the time.
Sorry.
But next time maybe we'll give them earlier. Then for the drama, I didn't get to what's the name yet. 24 Legacy, because Comcast has some type of issue with my on demand, and I don't know why. But so what happened this week on 24 Legacy?
It was the Jimmy Smith show, it appears. We had a lot dealing with him and his assistant, and is she being framed? And we know now the father, Gerald McRaney, is behind it. 2 things for me. Mm-hmm. It's hard to believe Gerald McRaney is Jimmy Smith's father.
Because he's so white.
Yes! And he's so little. I'm like, was the woman 6 foot tall Mexican? The mother? I'm just, that casting befuddles me. Maybe we'll see it more flesh out. But, so he's trying to cover his tracks so they don't know that he's framing the assistant.
The assistant, okay.
Right. And
what did we see happen with the wife in the projects? Is she still there? She was actually arrested because she called and warned Isaac, the brother, and she proceeded to be found out, and she ran. The drug dealer and the girlfriend ran after her. She got the drop on them because we see she's a badass, even though she... I know, she's supposed
to be. She got the drop on them in the projects behind some abandoned cars. And of course, she in the projects and she running it like, help, help, help. And they're like, nah, girl. You ain't getting no help here. Close the door.
And so, who calls the cops on her, though?
Well, that was the other thing. When I had to laugh, God forgive me. But I said, now, they in the projects ran by the drug dealer Isaac. These cops ain't showing up this fast. Not within the whole hour of the episode. So I'm assuming someone called and said that they heard shots fired. Cops come, but they get there very quickly and they proceed to go arrest her. But before they get arrested, Isaac leaves the meet. He survives and he gets there to tell, and the cop is on the payroll.
Oh,
so he's like, nah. He's like, man, I already called it in. He was like, nah, son, you gonna let her go? And he was like, well, you gotta take care of my partner too. He was like, no problem. She just saved my life. You gotta let her go. So at the meet, which he had called Isaac bluffed and said, oh, you trying to get the drop on me? Well, that was my sniper on the roof telling me that he's ready to take the shot if something happens to me. He ain't got no fucking sniper. He ain't got nobody.
Oh my God.
So they call off the thing and of course he by then puts it together that it was the girlfriend who had set him up. So she is on the run. She gets arrested by the cops, and the girlfriend and the drug dealer are nowhere to be found. We don't know where we're gonna run back into them. I'm sure.
Oh my God!
But when the cops showed up, of course, they arrested the one who had the guns, which was the wife, and they ran.
So what happened? Okay, and then what happens with the kid in the school that they thought they killed him, but
girl,
he's not dead.
He was in the hospital. Oh, here come the girlfriend. I want to ride with him to the hospital. Okay. She ride with him to the hospital. She get there. Of course, the school is called his mother, so his mother's there. But she leaves the girlfriend alone with him.
The girl kills him.
The girl kills him.
No.
Yes.
Oh
she
my
put
God.
She put a blood bubble into his IV.
Oh
yeah.
My God. So
but she had to because that motherfucker woke up and was about to choke her out. And she was like, she was hesitating, like, I don't know. He woke up and started choking. She was like, bam, hit the plunger.
Oh my God. So he's dead. And then,
but I'm sure I'm sure it's going to be something that's going to come out of this because he wasn't alive, but he had, he didn't have fucking embolism. So did that just come? I mean, we'll see how that plays out. If she's going to get found out, if there's video of her going into the room and right when it happens, I don't know.
Or maybe the mom will tell. But did they find, so then does the terrorists still have the
list?
Computer? Yeah, yes. They still
have the list. And the friend Isaac, I think he must have gonna give up his contact because now he's feeling guilty because they tried to kill him, and he finds out his family is dead. So now he's like, he tells Corey's character that, I'll take you to my connect and we could do this together. We'll get it back. We'll get the list back. So now they're trying to go and I guess whoever he hooked up with for the terrorism.
Well, see, that's what I told you, and you said you didn't like that part of it, but I said it's going to tie in that he's going to bring in that underworld, and he's going to need the help. And apparently, Corey's character has always been on the straight and narrow. He was in the military. He was this and that. And now he has to resort to this because of what's going on.
Yeah, because now CTU, they escaped him and the guy. So CTU is going to be looking for them just like the terrorists are going to be looking for them. So we'll see how it goes. But that was basically it.
And did you have any other dramas? No.
Only other thing I need to talk about is Walking Dead. Did you watch?
All right, so we go to the comics section. Shows that are TV shows based on comic books.
Yes.
I got Walking Dead and Flash. So I guess we should start with Walking Dead because that one wasn't. So
you didn't like the episode?
It was okay. It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. You had to have Carol and Daryl come back
together. That part again. I like. And I like, so then the scene on The Walking Dead, what is his name? Is it Randall or Randy? What is this guy's name?
Which one?
From the Kingdom. And he was the one who used to go out and get meet the saviors and give them the food and everything.
Okay.
And then he gets into a fight at the drop again, which it seemed like he always in a fucking fight at the drop.
Well, he's angry and he doesn't want to be doing He thinks they should be fighting the saviors. And
well, shit, they're killing them off with the rotten meat and the rotten that they're giving.
But now let's be honest, I don't think King Ezekiel's aware of that. That's the thing. I think he's doing this stuff underhanded, feeding the dead to the pigs and stuff. I don't think King Ezekiel is co-signing on that because King Ezekiel's like, just give them the shit, let them leave us alone. They don't even know where we at. We're gonna be good little boys and just do this. And he's like, F that. I'm gonna fight
so
the powers that
be. Be able to keep a secret? I don't know, because he has other people involved in it. So how could they keep I don't know. I just don't see them being able to keep that type of
But when
secret.
they showed him rounding up the pigs and then putting the zombies in there, that was him. I don't remember seeing no other people helping him with that. Rounding up the pigs, yes. But getting the zombies in there for the pigs to feed on.
Well, because
there being another person.
I believe that when he did it, now these may be alternative facts because so long ago, but Morgan actually sees him doing it, or somebody sees him, or is helping. Maybe I believe so.
Maybe I'm missing.
Somebody was helping him, or was there, because I remember that part, and they like, "What are you doing?" or whatever, and then he showed.
The reason I say he's not sanctioned is because of what happened this episode too, where he decides he's gonna force King Ezekiel's hand into fighting the saviors.
Well, that's
by
King
sacrificing Carol.
But King Ezekiel, he doesn't want to fight because of the reasons that you stated before. Because he's like, listen, they don't even know where we're at. We meet them outside of our gates. They don't know where we're at. If we don't abide by this or we try to fight, first of all, we're going to lose the people. And then they're also going to they may find out where we're at and invade what we have going on. And then it's the same thing that they had. Remember when Rick and them fought the governor in the town and thing, where we got all these people who don't even know how to fight, who never experienced that life. But
no, King Ezekiel trains his people. They don't have guns, but you see them running through. They hail, running in groups. They got armor on.
Some of them do. I didn't take it as that.
Even they showed us the girl shooting the arrow. She ain't got no leg, one arm, and she's shooting the arrow. He said, if you got two appendages, you can fight.
I don't know. Maybe I'll take it because I took it as that they're not as prepared. Like when Rick and them went up against the governor.
Oh no, they're not as prepared.
Rick and them, like even the Carol was teaching them how to fight, stab, and shoot when they were like, once they could walk, she had a knife or a gun in their hand. So they were more, and I think that was the thing. And then remember, the saviors are mostly men.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another factor that comes into play.
I just see that the guy who's King Ezekiel's right hand, this is his silent rebellion to me. Like the way he gives them the tainted meat and does these things. I don't see King Ezekiel sanctioning it. I could be wrong. I don't remember it from the comics, the whole tainted meat
I don't want to say like he's saying, oh, you know what? He may have, and he's just a passive way. Like, listen, let's just wear them down, get some of them dead, and then we'll just go at it. I don't know. But in this episode, yes. So he decides that, you know what? He's tired of this punk shit. Not Ricky. I've been watching New Edition fucking movie with my son all fucking week. Whatever.
Ricky Grimes.
But Rick goes to King Ezekiel. That was last week and asked them, like, let's join up and let's fight. And he said, nah, we don't want no
we good.
But the guy decides, like, you know what? I'm going to force his hand because he knows that King Ezekiel really cares about Carol.
I think they boned.
Really? I didn't take that.
That pomegranate was you want some of this eggplant too?
Are you sexually frustrated or something? I mean, maybe we should
see it everywhere. I see it everywhere.
Because you're really on this week, and I'm like, no, I didn't take that. I took it that he respected her.
Okay.
I took it as he respected her because the way she was, and that she didn't trust anything, and she had so much experience, and that also she was like, yeah, no, let me go. I don't need you to keep me. I'll be fine. And that's how I took it. So he he decides to set up this trap where they'll go and I guess attack Carol, the house where she's staying at. And he has Daryl with him.
He ropes Daryl in, not knowing that Daryl and Carol know each other.
So he keeps saying, like, well, who's in there? Who's in there? And he describes, he's like, you know, it's some lady that King Ezekiel has taken a liking to, and he protects her and this and that. And he's like, well, what's her name? What's her name? And then you see the guys almost coming. I guess the saviors are coming. And then he finally tells him the name. Yeah. And Daryl just hits him or whatever. Like, are you crazy? Yeah. That's my girl. Ain't no way in hell.
No.
But you know Carol stay on the bullshit. So you know she's going to be down for this fight.
Well, fast forward to when Daryl and Carol finally meet back up. And she asks about everybody and he lies to her and tells her, oh no, everybody's good. Glenn good. Abraham good. Everybody good. He did that because he knew she'd have been like, oh no.
Let's go.
We need to mount up. Get me some horses. We got a tank. Where that tank at from the governor? Let's go.
But I took it more so that she'll be like, okay, I'm going to go out for some pomegranates. I'll be back. And she'll be running down on them. Hell yeah. Because remember, that's what happened on the, she had one off on her own. Yeah. One season. Well, Rick was going to leave her anyway.
With Terminus. When she came back from, when it was in Terminus. Yeah, remember? Because she was
she came back
down to SmackDown on.
Yes.
Started blowing up everything and stuff for them to get out of Terminus.
And didn't she do it again when they were in Alexandria? I thought she was the one who got a few of the wolves out of there. Maybe it was, right? So the engineer is saying, that it was her. So she always down for some bullshit, and she don't need any team. She like, I do this dolo.
Wasn't she still in Alexandria at that point when the wolves attacked? She hadn't. She hadn't left yet. Because then,
no, she had left. Remember the first? This got to be like the second,
This is the second time that I remember her leaving. Because I remember when they were still in the prison. That was when she had killed the two with the flu. So they didn't get anybody else sick, and Rick left her in the nearby town with the car and everything. They get attacked by the governor, and they end up at Terminus. And in order for them to get out of Terminus, Carol had started putting the smack down. Remember, she had left the kids and the cabin, and was like, okay, we're gonna go blow this shit up real quick. You keep the baby and keep Judith here. I
thought it was another time. I know she helped with the wolves by herself. That she took in, and I thought at the hospital. Remember, they were in the hospital.
But she was fucked up at the hospital. Remember, because she got hit by the car, so she wasn't doing too much at the hospital because she was still laid up in the.
But didn't she kill somebody at the hospital?
She always killing somebody. She probably killed one person. I think
Carol, wait, asking that kind of question, are you dumb? Like, she always kills somebody.
Always down for a good assassination.
I took it like he was like, listen, let us get this shit together because I know you. So let us get this together. Then
she might have run off at the handle and just tried to do it herself. Mm-hmm. Or I think she would have also joined Rick in saying, okay, we need to mount our forces. I'll work on Ezekiel. You do, and we can do this.
Get this together. Yeah. And then we saw Rick asking.
But it's going to be hell to pay when she finds out the truth.
Oh, yes. And then the other, Rick was with the other people and he was trying to get
I was so confused when they said, I guess they're giving us some people that aren't in the comics now. Because maybe I missed them, but I thought these was the Whisperers. They're the Scavengers. Uh-huh. So I was like, oh, so they're giving us, I guess they're trying to throw off us comic readers.
That changed it up a little bit. And then let me tell you the issue.
Because when he asked her name, I was like, Alpha. Her name's Alpha. Don't you know it's Alpha? And then when she said, I was like, who this woman? Jade is what?
Well, I didn't like that scene. I mean, that whole thing with them being there. I guess these fucking points where he got on top of the mountain. And that fake back green screen they had behind it. Right. I was like, why? Yeah. It was killing me. But basically, they make him, they push him down, but he lands on a whole bunch of pillows. And they have him fight a walker that has on a helmet and all of these
Mad
spikes all around. And he has to kill the walker.
Yeah.
So they kind of, he
gets injured, which... I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it for any non-comic readers, but whenever something happens to Rick's hand, I'm like, is this it? Is this it?
Well, you can say because then I believe in the comics, and it's been a while, but in the comics that his hand does go missing, but then
he
it comes
loses
back.
His hand early.
In the comics, it comes back for some weird reason.
No, he still got a hook.
Oh, he got a hook.
Yeah, he got a hook. Okay,
because I remember one comic.
If I remember correctly, the governor cut it off in the comic.
And then I remember him having a hand in one of the comics afterwards, and I was like,
maybe it was a flashback comic. Maybe it was one of those flashback storylines. But no, he still has the hook. Okay. So every time something happens to him, I remember in Alexandria, I think something had happened to his hand. I was like, are we getting the hook? Are we getting the hook?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't like them to get rid of his hand.
I think because we already had the whole Merle thing. I don't know if they should do it on the.
Maybe the Merle character was to put that point in.
Right. I think it would be too much to redo it. And then we had, the leg with the father. I can't think of his name. Herschel. Thank you.
The farmer.
So we've done the whole you get bit or you get sick chopping off something. So I don't think we need to do it again. But every time something happens to his hand, I can't help but panic.
Well, so they formed another alliance with these people, the scavengers.
Yes.
Because to go against the saviors, and these people are like, I guess you would describe them as Mad Max.
But let's talk about Father Gabriel. Like, did you think he would man up ever? He nutted up this episode.
No. And then, remember, we were talking about it on, I think it had to be the last episode of TV Addict. We were talking about what the fuck was he up to?
Right.
Because we thought he was taking the food again and leaving. Yeah. He's like, no, I was in there. And then they made me take all of the food and everything and come. And so
and we find out that they only wanted the stuff that they took from the boat. So apparently these scavengers, they don't disturb anything. They find something and they wait for you to come and get it bring it convenient to them. Mm-hmm. And then, so this was Rick and the gay guy, I can't think of his name now with him.
With the curly hair, remember they went
in the water boat and got to the boat, took all the stuff off the boat, took it back to Alexandria, and Father Gabriel, who's on the wall at night, saw one of the scavengers coming in trying to take the stuff back because they had been scoping on it, and it was for them. But they let you do the heavy lifting.
And then they like, that's our shit.
Right. So Father Gabriel went with him and went back, and he left the clues for Rick to put together. And that's how they found him and, convinced them. He did the trial by, crazy ass zombie to prove that he can be trusted. And
well, see, that one I took like, remember in Game of Thrones, it was trial by, what did they used to call it? But either you would fight somebody or you would have the jury, which was the leaders. Right. And I took it was that type of thing. I guess they were going for, and then also with them being the scavengers thing. Remember in the Hunger Games, what was the girl? Red Fox or something, and that was her thing. I don't disturb anything. Right, I don't mess with anybody, so y'all can leave me alone. Yeah. And maybe that's how these scavengers have been able to exist. Yeah, that's how they have been. We don't fuck with you, you don't fuck with us, but we get what we need, and that's it. Yeah. And then the mounds that they have around.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes, far, I think.
How many groups do we have in this alliance? We got Rick, the scavengers. We have... Who was the other people that...
We don't have anybody else.
No, the people in Hilltop. He has.
Yeah, but remember, we gonna have to... Gregory ain't down for that. And as long as they let Gregory be in charge... Hashtag no spoilers.
I was about to say, no, get this fucking spoiler. Because...
No, because... But I mean, but no, we ain't gonna do that to the peoples. Okay. We ain't gonna do that to the fucking read.
Shit, I'm tired of these people not reading. Y'all ain't watching fucking TV. We gotta tell y'all about the TV. Y'all should have time to read. What?
Oh gosh.
But yeah, so now they only have really 2.5 groups.
Yeah,
I guess. So and then what happened with these women? Remember the women that
That might be something we'll go back to because Maggie knows. Not Maggie. You know who I'm talking about.
Enid. Is it Enid? No. Oh my God. What was this girl's name?
But she knows where these women are who are well stocked with guns and everything. Uh-huh. So I'm thinking she's gonna
and tell them
she's gonna be like, hey Rick, I know some people. And because these women have no men, this is where I'm thinking.
Oh my God. Back to sex.
No, not back to sex. Calm down. I'm thinking that they are there because the saviors probably killed their men. If I remember correctly, that's how they got there. The saviors killed their men. Uh-huh. So they're going to be down for the fight. Mm-hmm. Once you tell them, hey, we going up against Negan, they're going to remember, well, he's the one that killed our husbands and sons. Yeah, we down for this fight. Mm-hmm. And we bringing some guns to the party.
Yeah.
So,
but isn't Carl little girlfriend named Enid? That's not her name? It is her name, Enid.
Yeah, but she ain't part of their group.
She's not part of any. She was part of the group, but not part of any group. No, what's her name? She's Alexandra. She lives there with them. Well, she ran away,
right? Yeah,
and then she came back.
But she's not the one who remembers how to get there.
I forgot who it was.
Because remember, it was a couple of them
that got there. I forgot.
It's so much
because what happens is that with The Walking Dead, and you have to watch those marathons when it comes back. Yeah. Or you fucking forgot. Yeah. It's been so long. But so hopefully tonight they'll get another alliance. Yeah. And we'll see how that plays into it. And they could go after Negan ass. And what's her name and get him. And then I was trying to find the comics because I know last time we said we were going to get the comics. But the comic I was reading, it had to be far beyond because they weren't fighting each other. They were fighting
because the comics
together.
are into 120s.
So
issue 120 and they're still maybe in 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten so.
That wasn't the right one. So we got to find that one out so we could compare and contrast. Now, drum roll for Flash this week was, oh my God, the only thing that could have made Flash this week better was that it would have been in 3D. If it had been in 3D,
yeah,
that's the only thing that could have made that episode better.
Yeah. Barry pisses me off though, because if you gonna trust anybody, why the F would you trust Grodd? Grodd lie. He lie.
But how funny was that shit though? That he really, because I was all in for it. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. He's trying to say.
Barry makes me so mad. He wants everybody to be so truthful.
Well, you gotta tell the people what happened.
Okay, so we have a 2-parter. This week coming up is your finale to Gorilla City. Mm-hmm. Grodd was introduced as a mind-reading gorilla who was altered by the army. He was living in the sewer on our Earth with Barry Allen and Iris. Barry defeats him, throws him through a portal, and of course, luck of all lucks, he throws him to an Earth that has other mind-reading gorillas. Just what we needed. a whole city of mind-reading gorillas.
Oh my god!
So, Grodd in Gorilla City captures their H.R. Wells and takes him captive. The daughter goes and tells Barry and them that they need help. This was all a ploy to get Barry and the team to their Earth. Julian dressed as Indiana Jones was killing me. He was just too funny. And every time I see him, all I think is Draco Malfoy. So that throws me off even more. But look, Harry Potter, he was Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter. I never watched that show. Okay. Okay. So Grodd has a little thing for Caitlin, but he's not worried about that at all. He has a mission. The mission is to convince Barry he needs help getting rid of this head gorilla, only to find out the head gorilla was the only thing keeping them from attacking
the other.
Barry defeats him. The gorillas turn on him.
Hold on, he tells Barry, he's like, look, he wants to attack your Earth. I'm trying to keep him away from it. So what I need you to do, if you kill him, then that'll be, you're
or just defeat him. Just a matter of defeating him.
Yeah, and well, Barry tells him, I'm not going to kill anybody. Right. So he said, okay, well, y'all can fight or whatever. Well, wait, well, I got him a hood voice now. And he talking through Wells, so you know. And he's like, okay, well, if you do this, and then we could keep him.
He tells him he's gonna battle you, and you just defeat him.
And then,
because Gorilla Society states once you are proven to be weak, they probably quartered his ass or stomped him and said, we can't have you being our ruler. We can't have you. You got beat up by a human.
Yeah, so they'll leave the humans alone. And then comes to find out, so Barry goes into the ring, which this fight scene was excellent. That's why I said it needed to be in so 3D.
Yeah.
And they had this fight, and the kid kind of coaches Barry on what to do, to defeat the gorilla. So once he does it, he comes back. And he said, thank you. I needed you to defeat him so we could come. I could convince other ones to attack your Earth.
I'm like,
I was like, no, this mother effing
did. Grodd he's such a manipulator, and I love him, but I'm like, Barry, you stupid for even thinking it was going to be anything but.
He was really convincing, though. The story made a lot of fucking sense. I was like, oh, yeah.
I'm hoping that, something's got to happen, because this is all leading up to Iris being killed by Sal.
Well, they have to change everything in order to prevent her. Yeah.
So the reason why Barry thought defeating him would help was because in the alternate where Iris is killed, there's a story playing on the TV of we thwarted a gorilla attack. Mm-hmm. So he figured if I go and beat, we will have changed that future. And he just did exactly what they wanted him to do to make that future come true.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I thought it was hilarious that he fell for it, that he chipped them.
Yeah.
But now they're going to have to try to keep these gorillas
from attacking
the other planet Earth so that they don't get to the Earth with the humans and also not attack.
Yeah.
So we got to see
how this play. At the end, the girl that Cisco had a connection with, who also opens portals, that's going to be how they're going to try to get through.
Mm-hmm. And then we see Kid Flash coming into his own on what's the name while Barry's away.
H.R. Wells' daughter and him are going to have a love connection, and she's going to stay, I think, on Kid Flash's Earth and pursue the relationship. So we'll see how that works out.
Oh my God!
I'm ready for part 2, though. I want to see how my man Grodd comes to the wreck shop.
But that was really good. I thought that episode was it was just perfect. Yeah. All right, so before we get out of here, we wanted to discuss the Oscars. And before I came today, I was like, let me just see this one movie. I haven't watched any of the other movies. I know La La Land is like a favorite of everybody, but Moonlight won the Golden Globe and some other awards. So I say, usually the person who wins that, they're going to want to win the Oscar. So I said, let me see it. So basically, the premise of Moonlight is that I thought it was a different thing. It's a coming-of-age story Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be more of this guy stepping in and being his father. And before I saw the movie, I thought it was going to be the father raising his son in the city of Miami and how this happened. But no, I was totally wrong. So, not to give too much away. I mean, my guy, I keep calling him Remy, and he was Mahershala Ali. Yes. I thought he was going to be in like a main actor, and he's like literally in there for a hot second, and then he's out.
Well, he's in it through the whole first part because we find out he becomes a mentor to this kid, and the reason I love this film and the reason it's my pick for Best Picture, even though after watching most of them, Lion could also take it, and I wouldn't be upset.
What is it, Lion?
Yeah, okay. That was with Dev Patel.
So we'll discuss that one after this one.
Yeah. It had Moonlight to me was something that everybody knows this person who never really fit in, has a connection with somebody who you're like, this person should not be a good influence on you. Mahershala Ali's character is a drug dealer who has, corner boys and all of this stuff, and yet he connects with this kid.
But and not to cut you off, but in the scene, and because the boy mother is on crack or whatever, like in the beginning, because my daughter was like, oh, his mother not taking care of him. I'm like, no, his shirt's clean. He has on a book bag. Somebody's taking care of this kid.
In part one, she's just dabbling, I believe.
Yes.
She's introduced to drugs by the guy she's dating. And I don't think it's taken over the way we see it
later on, but she's on drugs.
She's functioning. She's a nurse. She's
I take that as her being a nurse. I thought she was like a CNA.
No, she was a nurse. She came in because the only reason she knew he wasn't home, he didn't come home that night because she was returning from her shift.
But how did you say that she was a nurse when she just had on scrubs? She could have been a CNA. She could have been anything.
But either way, getting up, and she's not your typical crackhead not getting up and going to work.
No, I didn't say. I'm not saying a crackhead, but I'm just saying it wasn't like that. She was.
She was
educated or that high up. It just seemed like, and not to put it like that, but a nurse. I mean, you got to go to college. You got to have it. It didn't seem to me. I didn't get that. I got that she was just that she was just holding a job, and then she was on drugs. And then the thing I was going to is that the scene where they're sitting at the table, and he finds out because the mom takes the TV and sells it or whatever for crack, and so he asks Cottonmouth, Blue. Oh my God, whatever his name is. He asked him, like, oh, do you, he was like, do you sell drugs? Mm-hmm. And when Blue hangs his head, Juan, I think it's his real name in the movie, he hangs his head, and he's, like, ashamed. And he says, yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought that was really good because, like, you say, okay, well, he's this drug dealer, he got corner boys or everything. But he wasn't proud of it. He was actually ashamed that this is what I do. Yeah. And, only issue I had with his character is that he only had a grill on the bottom, and it was like, why all your teeth ain't gold? You in Miami? What the fuck? And that was my main issue with that. But that scene I thought was so powerful, and then also the other scene, and then apparently it's somewhere what this movie is about because my daughter knew, but I didn't. That the little boy is gay. So when he says somebody called him a faggot, and he tells Blue Juan, what's a faggot? And he explains to him like it's just a word people use to make gay people feel bad. And he's like, well, how do I know if I'm gay? And he's like, you'll find out. Or what? I just thought it was so awesome, that conversation, that moment at the thing. And also that the boy, and I think the younger boy did an excellent job. Yeah. Because he didn't speak much. But his body language and everything.
His face was so expressive.
Yes, it told everything without him saying anything.
And it was just the whole, he was a child in a relationship, a parental relationship that wasn't nourishing. Mm-hmm. You could tell. He would come home to give himself baths, and he'd be sitting in the tub just looking so lonely. And, he just...
Well, I took it that
I love the movie. I
took that part like that. It was that he didn't fit in anywhere. He didn't fit in at home. He didn't fit in with his friends, except for the one friend we found out he really fit in with. And that he was always out of place. Yeah. And so that he felt alone. And Well, I mean, that's up to the viewer to decide if it's because of his struggle with whether or not he's gay. Right. And apparently he walks a certain, because his mother says that to Juan, like, right. Don't you notice the way he walks or something like that?
But I love that him being gay was the subplot to me. Mm-hmm. Like the way I took it, it was not about being gay in Miami. It was about this kid's life, his struggle, who just happens to be gay. And yeah, that shaped some of the things he went through, but it wasn't his whole story. He had so much other parts of his story and people in his life that shaped him. I mean, he had friends. They were friends via his one friend who he was really close with. But we see him outside playing football.
What was the friend named Kevin, I believe it was? And he tells him, he's like, and Kevin kind of rough him up like a friend would do and say, listen, you got to stop acting soft. Yeah. I know you're not soft. And they fight or whatever. Yeah. And then, so that's the first part where he's little. Then he goes to the second part where he's a teenager. Right. And he's still in that awkward position. And then, he's in that awkward position. And then him and Kevin got a little thing. Yeah. And then it goes, throughout his life. But I really enjoyed that movie. I didn't like the ending so much, but it was a really good movie. Because we bad on time today.
We'll talk about the other movies as we go. We'll see what wins tonight.
Moonlight is your pick.
Forward, Moonlight or Lion are my pick. As I understand, La La Land is the favorite because it's about Hollywood sucking its own penis. So that's a beautiful thing. You with these sex references this week. Hey, look, I took that. I stole that from somewhere, so I'm not going to trademark it and throw it out there. But La La Land's about Hollywood. It's about Hollywood's love affair with itself. So it may win just on GP because of Hollywood being who votes for it. But
so if you had a recommendation, so then your recommendation is
Moonlight and Lion.
And you saw all of them. I only saw Moonlight, and so that I gotta fucking choose that one. I ain't got no choice. I ain't watching any other ones. But maybe Hidden Figures might be a favorite because of the message.
You have a lot of choices this year. If you're going to pick for one that you don't know nothing about, you ain't seen, I'm going to give you Hell or High Water for that one. That you did not hear much about. It was probably never even playing in the theater near you. But I watched it and I said, damn, this movie was really good.
So now we got to get to our
picks for this
picks of the week. We like to give you all the people who don't have the time like us. Y'all busy living your lives, going out, eating with your friends and shit like that. Y'all ain't got time to watch TV. About 2.5 hours of TV. So, go.
Okay, so my first pick is going to be Blacklist Redemption. I was a Blacklist stan when it first came on. And it fell off to me. But the Redemption is about 3 of the most popular characters on it trying to redeem themselves from the bad they've done that got them on the blacklist in the beginning. So I'm kind of here for it. I want to see how it works out. My second choice would be The Breaks. There was a 2 hour.
Shit on
I'm sorry, I like it.
Okay.
I think you like it if you're a hip hop head. So it was a 2-hour movie, and they've turned it into a series.
TV show.
Yes, and it's set in the 90s, and it's all about, I think that the best part of Love Jones, your love affair with hip hop. That was when most of us fell in love with hip hop in the 90s. So that, and as an alternative to that, if you don't want to see the 90s hip hop, since he made such a great impression on This Is Us, I'm giving you Atlanta to binge and get you that paper boy.
That shit more than 2.5 hours. That's a whole season of Atlanta.
Look, I gave you told me I slacked last week. I only gave you one with Santa Clarita, so I'm making up for it.
And we
enjoy.
But my picks of the week would be, it gotta be the Oscars. You gotta watch the Oscars. I mean, this is the best of the best in film. But as an alternative, if you're not into the award shows like that, Big Little Lies. That's going to get you 1 hour because, as you see, that's going to be a main discussion on this show. I would also recommend you read the damn book if you got time. And I'm going to give you Walking Dead.
Of course.
Because I really don't like to talk to people who don't watch it during the season. So I don't know. And for my half hour, I'm giving you Blackish again. It came with it this week, so I don't have any new picks this week because these are the shows I'm gonna be all into this time. If you don't have any other time but the 2.5 hours, you need to pick these up. So, or watch the Oscars. So before we get out of here, like we like to do, but tell you where you can find us at on Twitter.
Notorious FPG at Fat Pretty Girl on Twitter, all one word. I'll be watching the Oscars tonight because that's my kind of nerd set up just right.
And I'm on Twitter at JMO about just my opinion about everything. But that's my Twitter handle because I got to tell you about everything. And I'll be watching the Oscars and I might cut out for The Walking Dead and then come back to the Oscars. But thank you for joining us this week. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next week with more TV.
Have a good one.